Good afternoon, Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest, 3526 North Haight Avenue, located at the rearmost unit. Started out there by putting a couple gallons of water down the line. We'll put some more down there in just a minute. Alright, might have a wee bit of standing water there. We'll check that spot out as we come back in. And that looks like a big chunk of pipe glue right there. And that one is in the flow line, unfortunately. That's one you'll want to trim off. 3034 PVC. Alright, there's the main. Alrighty, and while the video was paused there, I put another 3 gallons or so of water down the line. Just to help flush some of this gunk loose. There's a little bit of debris that was right at the base of a drop. A lot of it's migrated forward. What we just went past there, I believe most of that was at the base of the drop, about 30-40 feet back. And then we'll see how that bellied area looks. Only main concern about that belly as it sits right now is when concrete work happens, is it going to get worse when more work gets done over the top of it? That's always a concern there. You got a couple little lumps of junk in the line. They're at least out at 100 feet. I'm not sure if my camera pushed those through of just water flow, but if mostly water flow has gotten those that far out under just a few buckets of water, high volume water should move those on their way. If you were to run bathtubs or something like that for a while. Yeah, that's where a lot of that crap came from right there. It's a lot of plastic burrs and stuff like that. That stuff should move. Just run a bathtub for a bit. Otherwise, the PVC there looks good. Any spots where there was any amount of standing water at all, there was also some construction debris in the line too. That right there, though, is something I would definitely recommend dealing with. That's going to catch junk as it comes through the pipe. If it were the top of the sewer line, I'd be a lot less concerned about it. That's dead center right in the middle of the flow line. That is something I could probably trim down with my flex shaft machine, which is a high-speed spinning chain flail with little carbide blades on it. It will likely whack that thing loose from there. I shot a photo of this. This is, as you face this building from the street, we're at the front right corner. So we're just past this where the line turns to cross in front of the building. Right now, we're sitting almost dead straight out from that clean out for that unit there, where the clean out's on the right side, but at the front right corner, if that makes any sense. What it lines up even better with is the downspout. It sits perfectly straight out from it. In the photo, you're going to see my locate wand on the ground and my toe of my shoe. That where my toe is at is directly over top where that spot is. About 3 foot 6 inches deep. That's if for some reason it made more sense to dig that up rather than to try and drain clean it. But with the right kind of equipment, that stuff can often be ground down, if not cut completely loose. If you can at least grind it down to where it's just a little nubbin, it's much less concerning. But where that's at right now, that's something I would want removed. It's going to catch stuff. All right, so about 58 feet here. This is where this little belly looks like dissipates. And that right there is rinky-dink. Teeny little thing. So if that's all it was there, that's not something I'd recommend you fix. That belly ran from about 57 to 58 feet and had maybe 32nd, 16th of an inch of water. This might be the spot here that I noticed a little more. Even this, though, I mean, it's just as minor as the other one. And keep in mind, there is still a little bit of dirt and dust in the line. Sometimes that can cause that water to stay. There's most likely a little tiny belly here, but sometimes that little bit of fine particulate in the flow line can cause that stuff to stand there. But it runs from about 44 feet. I mean, we're not even near the base of my camera lens. From about 44 to 47 feet. This one has a little bit more. It's probably more like a 16th. The other one, a little bit further out, was more like a 32nd. I mean, it's very minor either way. I mean, where that's at, could it settle more if you do concrete work over it? Possibly. It's really hard to say. Those are so tiny, though. Two foot 8 inches deep. I'm just locating them really quick in the event you just go ahead and fix them. It's actually, you're probably have to take it to about 48 feet realistically. All right, that is just on the street side of the third clean out from the street. That's on the right side of the building. And I believe this spot out here at like 57 to 58 is right where the second clean out is. That's simply referring to the clean outs on the right side of the building, if not including anything on the front of the building, faced out of the road. Yeah, that's right where that tie-in is at for the second clean out. So that one I'm not going to mark. That one's very easy to figure out, but about 2 foot 8 inches or so. I did take a photo straight on at the building so you can see where it starts and stops, and then also one facing out towards the road so you can kind of count the clean outs back. Putting pink flags down. I didn't leave them. Just there's so much junk on the ground there. There's just no way they're going to last. Anyway, those are so rinky-dink. I mean, whether there was concrete over the top, if this were, you know, done, people were moving into them, those are not bellies I would be recommending repairs on. They're just slightly concerning from the standpoint they could settle more. As long as you're not getting any heavy equipment back in here, I would doubt that putting a little bit of concrete over the top of those is going to do a whole lot. Just the concrete itself. That weight displaces itself pretty nicely. It's if you get any concentrated weight right over the top of it, like a heavy machine or something like that, that's where I'd be a little more concerned you're going to see progression with that. Otherwise, everything else there looks good. Line has good flow as it sits right now. Aside, you know, there's a little bit of gunk in the pipe. From a slope and grade standpoint, the bellies are hardly doing a thing to affect functionality. They're not something I'd recommend fixing, unless there was a concern about it progressing after concrete work was being done. The one thing that absolutely can cause flow problems in this case, you have a hard obstruction there. You have that big chunk of excess pipe glue sticking right out of the middle of the flow line. That is a spot I'm concerned about there. I would, at the very least, try and trim it down with the drain cleaning machine, and or dig it up and correct it. That's a spot there that can easily cause stuff to hang up.